Good morning, guys. I wanted to do this quick video to show some recent techniques that I've learned in regards to basic survival and hiking, and also basic shelters. And what we're going to be doing today is going over the Yukon pack, which you can actually see on my back here. This pack is made with a tarp, okay, and you can see the tarp is just a basic 7x9 Harbor Freight camo tarp. So we're going to be talking about the Yukon pack and then also using this exact same tarp for a modified super shelter, which should keep us warm in cold temperatures. So let's get started with that. The Yukon pack, and you can see it fits. Actually, it's very comfortable. I've had lots of different packs, used lots of different packs for hiking and stuff, but this one fits real comfortable. You can see here the pipe insulation that I've used to actually pad the arm straps, and then these straps here are basically just straps from Walmart in the camping section. So I've got two 6-foot long straps here, and then a 3-foot strap that does the waist belt, and there's some pipe insulation back there as well. So yeah, let's take off the pack and then I'll kind of show you how it's put together. All right. So the pack is very simple, and actually I've got some straps up here I need to loosen up and take it off. And you can see the back of it here, basically with the pipe insulation, and then the pipe insulation that's around the waist area. And it's put together with just these two straps. It took me a while to kind of figure out how to get a minimal amount of straps with the maximum amount of support. And what we've used here right now is these two 6-foot straps, and then some paracord to cinch it down with. And the cool thing about this is it's not, I've seen some Yukon packs on YouTube, and where different people lash it so tight that it's and so many different straps that it's nearly impossible to get into quickly. But this one we should be able to get into with no problem at all. I've actually got a water bladder here and some water. I got a survivor saw, and then here's the basic layout. We have our sleeping pad that wraps around it, and then around the sleeping pad I have a fleece blanket, or you could use a wool blanket, and then just your regular standard camping and hiking gear in here. Everything from clothes, pillow, Mylar space blanket, which we'll be using today, and some shower curtain, which we'll be using today, very important, and some other whatnots that we'll go through. But what we're going to do now that you kind of got a basic idea of what's in the pack, how the pack looks, and again, that pack feels really nice, very comfortable. And I imagine the reason why it feels so comfortable is because of all this padding, and that this gives, and the rigidity that it gives as well. I think it's just a Walmart camp pad, that you can get at your local Walmart. So what we're going to do now is set this aside, and we're going to use this tarp to set up our super shelter. All right. Okay, so we have our 7x9 tarp, and one of the things, I got this tarp at Harbor Freight. I think it was $7, something like that. And the cool thing about tarps is that you can actually basically set up a shelter on the cheap. And let me raise this up a little bit here. So yeah, for $7 you can basically put together a shelter. I've got lots of expensive tarps, but what's really intriguing to me is to be able to do things very inexpensively and basically do it yourself. There's actually no modifications that you need to do to this tarp. It's as is. You can use it for the shelter that we're going to build today. One of the things you have to be mindful of, though, with the tarp is that because it's, you know, it's not very expensive, sometimes the grommet holes aren't exactly where they should be. They might be off by a couple inches one direction or the other. But the first thing you want to do is we want to spread out the tarp long ways, okay, where it is longer. The 9 foot is this going to be this direction, and the 7 foot back. And one way to do that quickly and easily is just to mark where the front of the tarp is going to be. So you can see here, actually I did install a grommet in the middle of the front, but we actually don't even need it. But this grommet and this tape just kind of also indicates to me what the front of the tarp is. So what we're going to do now is set it up. I'm going to set it up real quick, and then I'm going to come back and kind of explain and show you everything about it. Okay? Here we go. You're going to see my dog running around for a little bit. His name's Bernie. He likes to get out. Okay, that took a little bit longer to set up than normal because I was trying to use these bungee tarp cords for the first time, and I thought it might be helpful to stake out. The challenge is when I use these bungees is that they don't provide as tight a pitch as without them. So we got the basic shelter up. Let me get the rest of it together, and then I will go and talk and explain about it. Whew, I'm a little winded. Okay, all right, that's probably about the 3rd time I've set up this shelter, and every time I do it I learn a better way to do it and to do it faster. So I actually had a lot of learning even on this one. So let me just basically show you what's the overall view here, and then we'll kind of go into the specifics. We've got our tarp set up, and then inside the tarp we have a Mylar space blanket, okay? And the Mylar blanket is designed there to reflect the heat, okay? And then we also have a shower curtain, clear shower curtain, that's used to let light and heat in, but keep the heat inside. And so what we would do in this situation is basically you want to have a fire about one step away from your shelter. So we would have our fire right about here, and the light from the fire would shine into the shelter and get reflected in there back to where you'll be sleeping. Okay, sorry about that. My little dog Bernie was messing with some big dogs, and so I had to take him inside. But anyways, as I was saying, and what I did while the camera was off, I went ahead and put all my gear inside and kind of straightened up some things. But what I'd like to do right now is give you a walkthrough, and so you can just see exactly how this shelter is set up. And I didn't get this idea. I didn't come up with it by myself. I actually saw a video on YouTube by Louisville Gar, and he designed the basic shelter, the tarp structure, and I thought it was a perfect setup because number one, you're laying long ways to the fire. You can have a shelter where you're laying away from the fire, and I find that that doesn't give you as much heat from the fire. So, and then what I did is just set up the plastic and the Mylar. So let's go around and I'll show you the different items with the setup. So first of all, you can see here that these are just simple Walmart stakes, and the way I have them set up, because you can't fit those stakes through the grommet. Let me focus on that. So what you have to do is basically use a twig on the other side, send the rope through, and then just put that twig in there, and that does very well. Up here And here's one thing you got to be real careful with cheap tarps, is that if you put too much pressure on the grommets, sometimes they'll rip through. And what I'm going to have to do is basically reinforce that like I've done with this one over here. Okay, I just put some tape and put in a new grommet. Okay. All right, and then what we've also done is we've put the shower curtain, and this shower curtain actually has grommets, metal grommets in it, so it actually works out very nicely. I put the shower curtain underneath, not on top, because if the wind's blowing, I don't want rain. If it was on top, rain would probably come in. So, I don't want to put it on top, because if I do, rain will probably come in blowing this way. So I put underneath, rain will fall off and just fall down. Okay, so cool thing about this tarp is you're protected on all three sides of this shelter system. And again, you can see I've got the same setup here with the tri stake, and these are really inexpensive. I think you can get 4 of them for $3 at Walmart. And then I put a stick, piece of twig in there, and then pulled it tight. And we come around, same thing on this side. This is what it looks like pitched. Very nice actually, a lot of room. And again, like I said, sheltered on 3 sides. All right, so we go inside here. I'm just going to flip this shower curtain on top. And the cool thing is everything in that pack has multiple uses. So for instance, now what was the shoulder pads for the pack have now become the foam used to using with sticks to prop up the interior to make more room, but to keep the sticks from poking through the mylar and the tarp. And you can see the mylar is nicely tucked away there. There's actually a little bit of duct tape right there, help to keep it back there. And then again, the back side of this tarp actually flips under and becomes the ground cloth. Perfect, excellent. All right, and so when you get in this thing, you actually might find out that it's too hot because of your body heat being reflected, and then if you have a fire outside, it being reflected back down on you as well. And so all you have to do is just open up the shelter by lifting up the shower curtain, and you can cool down pretty quickly. The reason why I like having interior supports is because, number one, I can adjust these in the middle of the night without having to leave the tent. If there was cordage on the outside that was pulling it out, then if it's too slack, then I have to get up, get all the way out, and tighten it up. So, but this makes it real nice. Okay, all right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna close it up and get inside and give you a view from inside. Okay, so this is a view from inside, and I just got in here, pulled the plastic sheeting down, and I can already tell that it's getting quite warm in here. And you know, I don't want to say this is the perfect shelter, but in the number of shelters that I've built, I think this is near perfect for a number of reasons. You got your own ground cloth that's being used by the tarp. You're covered on 3 sides from the tarp. You got the mylar blanket. You're laying long ways to the fire, okay? And you're going to build a long fire 1 step away from the shelter. So you're going to be laying long ways, and it's just perfect for 1 person. I would say it would be a pinch to get 2 people in here, but for 1 person, it is definitely a nice cozy home away from home. Okay, you also have a space right here. You know, the great thing about floorless shelters is you can actually, if you spill anything or drop, you know, water or anything, you can you don't have to worry about it. You can walk right in, to your shelter. You can cook in here, and that's one of the reasons why I love floorless shelters. But this just gives the floorless shelter option, but also has the ground cloth option as well. So the other great thing I like about this shelter is there is no cordage used to set this thing up. It is all done by the tarp itself. The tarp itself and these trekking poles are basically what keeps the shelter up. So you don't have any cords that are outside that are tripping people up, and so it just makes it very very compact in terms of its footprint on the outdoors. Okay, now if that size shelter is not big enough for you, or you need to fit 2 people, you have the 2-person version. And this is actually pretty much the exact same configuration. This is with a Harbor Freight 9x11 tarp, whereas that is a 7x9 tarp. So 9x11, a little bit different configuration. Well, I'm sorry, exactly the same configuration, a little bit different tie-outs. So let me show you what we have going on here. Okay, so you can see it will fit 2 people very nicely, or give 1 person a very big living space. And again, the same trekking pole setup with the stakes in the ground. Again, you could put Mylar blankets up in the back there, and or that same shower curtain can go right up in the front. The difference that I found in order to make this shelter taut is you will need to have guy wires that are going out from the trekking poles, okay, to keep that taut. And then the good use for these bungee cords here, they worked out very well pulling this out nice and taut. But it's the same exact setup here. You can see right there, and same exact thing. Again, the bungee cords do really nicely to pull this out a little bit and keep it tight. But again, lots of space, lots of room, and another great option for you if you want more room or you need to fit 2 people. Yeah, you can even fit a nice little camp chair in here. Makes it real cozy living. Have a fire out there, relaxing, and you're still sheltered. Great setup, great setup. Alright, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to pack up the shelter and create our Yukon pack. I've actually already taken the shelter down, basically just laid it back. So the front, what was the front up here, is now just laid back there. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to lay our sleeping pad out long ways, because what it's going to do is it's going to wrap around the pack, and we're going to lay our sleeping bag or fleece blanket or wool blanket out this way, so we can get some structure and keep the things, our little D bags and stuff, in one place. So what we do now is basically pick what's going to be the bottom and what's going to be the top. I'm going to just say this is going to be the bottom, and up here is going to be the top. And then you just pack it like you do a normal pack. I'm going to put my sleeping bag, extra clothes here. Oil mat, sleeping pillow there. We want to try to keep things towards the top or this direction, things that I think I might need more often than others. That's a food bag, a little gear sack here. This is some hats and bandanas and pack towels. I'm going to put our toiletries right there. It's got flashlight in it, so I'll keep that kind of the top. Here is tent stakes. We'll put that there. That's our mess kit, and this is our Frog Togs poncho. And what we use this poncho for is almost everything in this pack is multiple purposes. The poncho is a breathable material, and so not only is it good as a poncho, but if you happen to still get cold at night, you can wrap this over you, and because it breathes, it will keep you warm, but you won't have all that condensation. So put that, and because we might need it when it rains, we'll just put that. There's this area right here, flashlight, and then bandanas, hats, stuff like that. Okay, I think that's it for that stuff. All right, so now what we do is we have to use our sleeping bag to wrap it up. Then our pad goes like this. Okay. And actually what we need to do, now that I'm thinking of it, we actually need to fold this tarp in half. So I'm just going to set this to the side. Get some of these leaves out of here. And just fold it in half. I think this is the right way. This might be the wrong way. I've only done this a couple of times. Yeah, this is the wrong way because this needs to fold up over that. So, again, we learned, always learning, we need to fold it this way. So we have more width to wrap around the pack. Okay, make sure you guys can still see. Alright, that's good. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to wrap this around this and get this pad nice and tight. And then we wrap this like here, like so. Now, what we want to do is we want to make it so we can get to stuff easily if we need to. And from what I remember, I think this is decent. This is the position of this on the tarp, maybe center. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is first off, we're going to put and this will be the part that goes to our back. Yes? No? Maybe so? I think so. No. This is the part that goes out. Okay, that faces out. So this is going to be our waist strap. So we're going to put that right here. Fold this up like this. Because we want our waist strap down here to actually lift up the pack. This. Okay. Then we're going to put some things in here that we probably will need later. Actually, I'm going to put this Survivor in here as well. And actually, I'm going to put this trowel in here. And then at the top, I'm going to lay a water bladder here and some extra water. Okay, and that's a little Sawyer water filter. That's a great filter right there. Okay, so then what we do, wrap this in like this. Okay, and we got to cinch it with cords. So let me grab the cords and we will cinch it up. Okay, so we got our cordage. Actually, it's just a paracord here. You can see one end I've tied a loop on, and the other is just a free end. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around, and I like to try to get it kind of high, actually even above where the sleeping pad is. Okay, and then we put our free end through the loop, and we just ratchet it down as tight as we can. Okay, pinch it right there, and we're actually going to go through that loop again. Alright, a little challenging, but we'll get it through. As soon as we get it through, we just pull it tight and then pinch it again. And then this time we're just going to make a quick release right here. I know you can't see that. I'll do it where you can see it on the next one. Okay, so there's that one. All right, and the next one, and I'll get it, try to get it close so you can see. All right, let me get it. All right, and we want to get it nice and tight in here. So this one, we'll go around underneath it first. Okay. I'm going to put it through the loop. It's hard to see because of the camo. Put it through the loop. Pull this tight. Pull that down and then ratchet it down. Okay. And the best way to ratchet it is just pull it to the edge and then pull it tight. Okay. Let's see if I can get this camera zoomed in here. Okay. Alright, so we've got it ratcheted tight right here. Okay. As tight as we can get it, we're going to pinch it right there. And then we're going to send it through, we're going to send this free end through the loop again. There might be an easier way to do this. Okay, we got it through, pinched it, and we want to pull it tight. Okay, and then to do the quick release, I'll keep my finger under there so you can see contrast. We just bring this around and back through and tighten it down like that. So now all we have to get into it, all we have to do to get into it is just pull that, and everything comes loose. You know, just pull this end right here and everything comes loose. Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to put the 6-foot straps. These are the straps that are going to go around, and we're going to put them, the straps around that have in such a way that on the other side, the side that we're going to wear, we're actually going to have this to our back, but on that side we want the tensioner to be down, so we can pull it tight down. Okay. So we're going to unbuckle this, and this is going to be a sternum strap. Okay, so it's just a piece of cordage tied to this strap. All right, and we're going to slide this end underneath like that, and then this end underneath like so. Okay, and we're going to do the same for this other side with this other cord. And again, we want the tensioner down, so it'll be like this when we have it. So we're going to unbuckle. So there, go under this paracord. Make sure it's straight. Okay. Now, all you have to do is just flip it over and clip it. Oh, actually, I'm going to send it through these straps here, that paracord. It's going to give. Took me a while to figure out how to do this with only two straps here, and then the third one for the waist. Okay, so that's done, and it fits really nicely, and it actually feels really good. Okay. Again, we've got the tensioners down, so all we have to do when we have it on our back, we just have to pull down if we need to make things tighter. Okay, and final touches. We want to put shoulder straps on. Do that right here, and this is just pipe insulation you get at Home Depot or Lowe's. Very, very cheap, inexpensive. I think it was like $1.20 something for 6 foot of it. And then we're just going to put the final piece right here, and what that's going to do is a couple things. It's going to help keep these straps out, hopefully, and then give us some more cushion for our back. Okay, so I think that's it. Let me get the camera wide, and then I will throw it on and see if I got it all together. Alright, so we got the pack together. I'm just going to pick it up, put it on. You can see it stays really good, and hopefully I can grab it by the paracord. There's that like a handle right there, and that fits real nice. Okay, so now it's just a matter of putting it on. Make sure the pipe insulation stays on. Like that. And then I'm going to grab the waist. You know, I'm probably, now that I think of it, I probably should have a 6 foot long waist strap, because it barely, I need more. I'm not that fat, but actually I got it. Alright, so cool. So actually I got it packed really right, because right now the tops shoulder straps are really loose, but this waist strap is actually sitting on my hip. The weight of this pack is right on my hip, and that's where you really want it. Okay, so now all I have to do is just cinch these shoulder straps down. It feels nice and tight, and then I need to shorten this sternum cord. Just put the sternum cord on, and again I have the sternum cord. It's kind of the same thing as the cordage that I put on the pack, where a loop on one end and there's just a free end. Tight, and basically kind of doing the same exact thing. Tight here. I wonder if I can, well, let's just pull it through and then do a quick release right here. Okay, so yeah, wow, it feels really solid. And you can see the pack. It feels really solid. It's probably one of the best setups I've done. Yeah, looks good, feels great. And again, I think what I would recommend is getting the longer 6-inch strap or 6 foot strap for your waist, because this is just barely fits me. I just barely have enough. But that's it. Okay, we showed the Yukon pack, the super shelter, and hope you guys learned something today. And we're actually going to have a trip. We're going to be going out with some guys, hopefully in about less than a month, and we'll be doing this setup, and maybe I'll bring a camera along as well. I'm going to be teaching some different things. So all right, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have fun. Okay guys, I actually just came up with a modification that you might enjoy. It's actually strapping a camp chair on the back of the pack. Now the cool thing about that is, and this chair it's aluminum, it's not that much weight, but it all depends on what you want to pack in. But the cool thing about this is as soon as you take the pack off, you can actually sit down. You can actually just sit down. Nice, very nice. And it's good to have a good way to sit in camp, just to relax. So that works well too.